Hello and welcome to this very special conversation here on Money 9. Joining me today is Mahesh Patil, who is the Chief Investment Officer at Aditya Birla Sun Life Mutual Fund. Thank you very much, Mahesh. It's always a pleasure talking to you, especially in times like these. At the outset, let me congratulate you and your organization on your listing. Let me also congratulate you on crossing the 3 lakh crore asset under management mark. So lots of good tidings coming for you and your company.
Yeah, thank you, Wade, for that. Yes, yeah, it's an important milestone for us. Yeah,
Mahesh, let's start a little with the markets. The big question on everybody's mind right now is that, when you're at levels of 60,000, we crossed 62,000. Are we still having some strong legs ahead in this rally, or are we pretty much tiring out at these levels given the current cues that the market is picking up?
yeah. So I think there's no doubt that the markets have done exceptionally well in the last 1.5 years after it bottomed out during the pandemic, and the recovery has been very sharp and very quick. And as a result of that, the market is probably slightly ahead of fundamentals, and that sometimes makes us worry that whether really one should be exiting from the market or market has topped out. But really, if you look at it, right, I mean, don't just look at the valuations. The valuations are high, there's no doubt about that. And not only in India, but globally, the valuations are at record levels because of the easy liquidity conditions which have been there, interest rates are low. But I think the only point I have to make over here is that we are coming it out from a bottom of the economic cycle, right? Even before pandemic, also we were going slow. So India is on a recovery path, and we see pretty fairly strong earning economic growth for the next few years, and that is what makes us even positive at these levels. Like in the near term, there could be some correction because markets had a very big run for the last 1 year. But for long-term investors, even from here, as the economic recovers, as the corporate earnings growth also improves on the back of that, I think you should see the market scaling higher. And while the market multiples are at very high levels, the economy, okay, is more or less at the bottom. We're just coming from the bottom. So the overall, if you look at the profit, corporate profit to GDP numbers, they are nowhere near the peak level, right? I mean, what we had seen in the earlier peak, they are much below than that. So given that there is still enough room for corporate profits to improve from here and companies' earnings growth to also improve. In fact, this year we will have earnings growth of around 35% also for the Nifty companies. And thereafter also we expect the corporate earnings growth to be around mid-teens. And if that really plays out, then the market can still move higher. I would say we are still in a kind of a bull market. We are somewhere in the middle of that market, I would say. Yeah, there's still some distance to be crossed over there before long-term investors really start to get worried about it.
Mahesh, what happens if this liquidity tap, which can open, is closed? Already we are hearing talks coming in from the US. Who knows what the Indian regulator will do? But is that something that worries you? That if a large part of this rally has been owing to the liquidity that is coming in, if that tap were to close, what could go wrong?
So we've seen that. We always see that, right? When there is excesses being created in the market because of the liquidity, and the liquidity was created because there was a crisis which was there during the COVID, and that is now slowly easing off. So there's but natural that you see the liquidity which has been infused. Okay, will start to the tap will be closed as you see, but it will happen over a gradual process. And when that happens, normally there is a period short term, there is an impact because a lot of money which has moved into a risk asset class like equity might get pulled up. But mind you, the central banks and then the governments are going to do that in a very gradual manner, and they'll do that only when they see growth coming back, right? So as growth comes back, you will see liquidity getting tightened a bit. Interest rates will go up, and we've seen that in the initial period. Yeah, there is some knee-jerk reaction in the market because there is adjustment that happens in the market. But if the recovery is strong, right, earning growth is strong, the market really takes cues from that. And after that initial correction, okay, it probably is more driven by the outlook on the economic growth and corporate earnings. If that is good, then the markets, uh, uh, again, after that correction, the initial adjustment, again starts to move up. And that's been the kind of behavior what we've seen in the past cycles also, where we've seen these kind of moments where liquidity was infused and slowly they were tightening, only when it became excessive, when interest rate become excessive, okay, and that's much later in the economic cycle. They're not there in the economic cycle really for us to be too worried about that. But yeah, it might lead to some volatility and some correction in that period, which is but natural.
Let's talk a little about the new fund offer that you're coming out with. It's a business cycle NFO, Mahesh. We keep hearing about launch of new index funds, balanced advantage funds, and these kind of schemes being launched a lot. In fact, we've seen a several amount of NFOs actually in the last 12 months. What has made you choose, if I may call, a thematic fund? Is it a thematic fund? What is this business cycle NFO all about?
So as a funders, we continue to look at various themes or products, okay, which we feel make sense for investors to look at at a point in time. And we have launched in the past other thematic funds or sector funds at a time when we thought they were right for the market, and they have done well. And this particular fund, which is the business cycle fund, which we are coming in, I mean, for this, I think any market timing is good. I mean, I think it is a kind of an all-weather fund, unlike some of the sectoral funds or thematic funds, because it is a kind of a diversified fund or a multi-cap fund. In that sort of flexi-cap fund, there is no market cap restrictions over there. There are no sectoral restrictions. Only thing is that difference here is that it is more a top-down driven fund. Right? When I say top-down means when you are constructing a portfolio, there are two parts to it, right? One is your top-down call. Top-down is the macro call what you take, right? On sectors, which sectors will do well. And there is more bottom-up approach, where you do a stock selection, where you select individual stocks based on their strengths, based on their likely potential returns, and build a portfolio. Here, this fund predominantly will be driven by a macro top-down approach, right? And which is determined by the cycle where we are in the economy, right? So based on the various cycles in the economy, we have seen that various sectors do well in different cycles of the economy. Like for example, if the economy is in an expansionary phase, right, or growing, then we see that the cyclical sectors do much better than the defensives. Whereas when the economy is kind of decelerating or slowing down, the defensive sectors can do well. That's a broad general thing, not necessarily the same always, but the objective here is to really try to understand what phase or what cycle we are in economic cycle, and then which businesses will do well based on that in the foreseeable future, and take large allocations in those sectors of businesses and construct a portfolio, and then look at the underlying stocks within those sectors to build a portfolio. So, in a way, one is trying to really optimize the portfolio based on the outlook on the various sectors, which we tend to look at after looking at all the macro parameters and build a portfolio on that basis. And that is, I think, a fund. This kind of a fund again is good at any point in time in cycle, because the fund would to some extent adjust for the cycle where we are in, right? If we are in a kind of a bullish market or a bullish cycle, then the fund would probably slowly start to adjust towards the defensives and create the right balance in that portfolio. So that's the only difference, I would say, around the major difference which is there in this funds. And while we have other diversified funds, other flexi cap funds, where also we have some kind of a top-down approach on sectoral approach, but here that's the predominant factor, which will drive the allocation in this fund.
And how many sectors would you look at any given point of time? Because as you rightly said, you would have other diversified funds where also you and your fund managers would be trying to catch a particular business cycle by default. So how would that differentiate this fund from your earlier ones?
There is no real cap in terms of the number of sectors, okay, which would be there. But I mean, having said that, I think it's well understood that this fund will be slightly more concentrated in terms of its sector allocation. Like, for example, during kind of an expansionary phase in the economy, you will see a larger concentration for non-cyclical sectors. Whereas the non-cyclical sector, it could be the commodity sector, it could be the capital goods sector, it could be the banking and financial services sector. So they would have a larger concentration. So here the sectoral concentration, okay, in a particular sector where we are more bullish from say next 1 year, 2 year, 3 year perspective, will be much stronger than what we would see in a normal diversified equity fund. And sectors where we are less positive on, we will see a significant underweight over here. So the deviations, okay, of the sector allocation vis-a-vis the benchmark, I think that would be more pronounced in this fund than any other normal diversified fund.
What kind of investors would this fund be suitable to, Mahesh? Would you put this in a more higher risk kind of a fund on the riskometer?
So, I mean, ideally, I would like to see that this fund is more akin to a comparable to any other multi-cap fund or a flexi-cap fund, and to some extent also diversified. While there is a concentration in a particular sector at a particular point in time, but across market cycles, this fund will move across sectors, right? So you're not fixing on a particular sector. So, given that, I think it is suited for actually most investors, I would say, okay, who are seeking to a more diversified kind of a portfolio, but considering the fact that it has slightly higher sector concentration at certain points in time, the risk will be slightly higher than a normal diversified flexi cap fund. So investors who are looking to look at a more diversified broad-based portfolio, but with an added punch, okay, of a larger sector concentration, added with a slightly higher risk, and also with slightly better returns, because if we are making those top-down calls, and if those calls are right, then one should expect slightly better returns than a normal diversified fund, adjusted for the risk which what one is taking over here. Slightly higher risk profile than a normal diversified flexi cap fund, as I would say.
All right, we leave it there. Thank you very much, Mahesh, for joining me for this conversation. I wish you all the very best in your new listed entity, as well as for this new fund. And let's hope that the markets keep surprising us on the upside. Thank you very much for this conversation.
Thank you. My pleasure.